And welcome back to the Anime Den. This time around we're doing another retro toy review. This time around it's of course the G1 Grimlock from Transformers. Of course this is already in robot form. Why? Because this is actually how I found him at a garage sale. Came in a box of toys for a grand total of $5 Australian. So let's have a quick look at him in robot mode. He's pretty cool. Yeah, for a toy, this is the 1984 release, so for a toy that's from 1984, it's actually a really good nick. Unfortunately, a lot of the decals are gone. Those, there's actually meant to be decals sort of on the shoulders. You can see there's patch points on the shoulders where he should have stickers. They're not there. He's missing the rub sticker. He's missing most of his stickers, but he's also missing a lot of his chroming. There was a lot of chroming on this, but we'll look at the robot mode first. So, of course, like most Transformers of the time, of course, here's what they refer to as a straight arm. So there is no elbow joints. There's arm articulation. So this come from the side, and we can see that the arm wholly and solely articulates. There's no elbow joints. I'll try and you come from this side. There's no elbow joints. There's just a straight arm. And of course, it's the same with this side too. Of course, the legs have got knee articulation and a small amount of hip articulation. That's literally the hip articulation. So posability, these things really have one pose, and that's that pose. And of course, as we work our way around, you can see there's still some stickers that have survived here and here. Chroming's obviously come off on one of the arms quite heavily. Again, 1984, we're talking about a toy that's 30 years old, so chrome just doesn't survive. And the person who probably had it before, I bought it, of course, well, considering the condition of the box that it was in, really didn't look after it. So that's of course robot mode Grimlock. There's no accessories, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the face. The faces, and you can actually see there's a nice little clear point. And I don't know if you can really see it that well, but there's actually chroming under the clear point. That's die-cast. The actual red groin is the die-cast, which is a throwback to the Japanese versions, which were originally made by, of course, Takara Toys. So let's go to robot mode. Robot mode. What am I saying? Of course, dinosaur mode. So this one is actually really difficult to do at times, because he's got a few little tricks to him. So the first thing is, of course, his chest piece actually comes forward and drops down, and he doesn't always want to work properly. It's meant to just drop down, but we'll let it just hang loose for a second. You might have to just play with the legs for a moment. The legs are again the same. They've got a bit of work in them to make them come where I want them to go. You've got to twist the legs. And again, I'm working arse-handed, aren't I? So you've got to twist the legs up, and that's where everything's going wrong, is that we're actually sitting too high. Goodness. And that's because not everything is slid into the right spot. We'll come back in a moment. Okay, we're back. We figured out what I did wrong. I forgot a process. So the first process is, of course, to flick the legs out and flick them down. So see if we can get a bit of a better shot of this being done here. So we flick the legs out and we bring it down. There's a I don't know if you're going to be able to see this as well because the light's not entirely the best, but there's a joint there which is a double joint, which is obviously to help him stand. Then you can obviously take the legs, flick them up. Both the legs flip up, and there's a little catch for them to lock into. That's it there. Then you can bring the tails in, and you can already see on the tail that the tail itself is missing quite a bit of chrome. Again, you can paint these up. You can actually get chrome paints nowadays and paint them up, so then you end up with something that looks a bit like this. Then of course obviously you bring that down, that goes there like that. The legs just pull forward, and again pull forward. Then the carapace or the body just folds together like that, and then the head just flicks over like that, and we of course have a G1 Grimlock. And we'll just get the camera a bit better position. And quite often the robot mode on the G1 Grimlock looks a lot better than the robot mode. And this is of course this is the 1984. It's actually off the Diaclone design. So of course in dinosaur mode we have a little bit of articulation on the hands. Obviously the leg articulation doesn't change from when it was in robot mode. There's a little bit of joint movement now though on the feet. So let's see if we can see it. So you can actually move the feet. So it does give you a little bit more articulation. You actually lose that articulation in robot mode because the leg snap covers the actual knee joint. But in dinosaur mode you can get it. Of course the head actually has no swivel articulation, but you can lift him upwards and backwards. You can't do left or right. It's not possible. And again, you can see through the neck piece here, there's a bit of clear plastic, and see if we can zoom in a little bit. You can see the clear plastic just there on the neck, and again there's some very nice chroming through there. And it adds that sort of robot feel, doesn't it? And of course, while we're at this range, you can also then see the Takara Diaclone piece that we couldn't see before, which is of course there. That's where am I? That's the cockpit. It's black. It doesn't look like much, but basically your figure would sit in there, and then it would flick over and sit like that, which of course doesn't come with the Transformer. You'd have to get the Diaclone to get that. And of course his mouth does open, and it has some plastic moulding in there. Again, in the original Takara ads, it did show that Grimlock could, you know, breathe fire from his mouth. So it's quite a nifty little sort of moulding piece to have there. And of course he's got his red eyes. Again, he's missing some decaling off the sides there, which of course, again, it's a 30-year-old figure. You expect these things to be missing. And again, there's some decaling missing elsewhere that is missing. But that's it. That's of course the G1 Takara mold Grimlock, which came at a very good price, and it's just a very cool piece. The Dinobots are very cool, and they have actually since been redone so many times. In fact, I think I have got a more updated version of Grimlock's sort of sitting here, which when you put them side by side, the original Grimlock looks so much more, I don't know, look more ferocious to me. This sort of looks very junky and plasticky, and sort of lacks that sort of Transformer Grimlock look. And even once transformed, the original G1 Transformer Grimlock looks a lot better than, you know, the later versions do. So thank you very much for watching. Remember to rate, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.